So if we are going to do this in just three values, which is kind of always a good way to lose information when we're looking to lose information and create that person-shaped hole. As you observe, let this middle be the same as this middle. So I'm just going to take out that edge. And then let this edge be defined by a dark that comes up against it, and then lost and then found again. So we have an edge, we're losing it, have an edge, losing an edge. And having only those three values really does force us into that situation. Because I was trying to make this about light versus shadow. By pushing darker darks in this one than I have in this one really feeling the light more when you step back. This one's feels a little bit mushy and not quite as lit as this one. So I'm going to push some of those luscious, rich darks into this one as well. They're rich, but they're still going to be a little grayer than the lit area. So that will feel the saturation. And of course, in the shadows, we're not constrained by the need to show the local color of the object we're playing.
Right.
Too much the same red running through all of that shadow. So I'm pushing in this olive green. I'll find some violet to go in there, and maybe a little blue here and there. So it's changing temperature as it runs through that shadow in a playful way. And I keep working on the idea of unifying my darks so I don't have little spots of them. So tying the stem of this, the shadow side of the stem, into the leaf here, maybe running this dark across and connecting it, if I can, or almost connecting it into this little tendrily thing that drops off of here. These stems are changing colors. They move through space and go down away from the rose. They're green at the top and they turn red down at the bottom. That's a beautiful opportunity for us to do a transition both in value and in temperature as we move through it. So it's actually going from a color to its complement. We're going from green to a red. In this case, in the transition, if I look in there, I can actually see a little bit of the violet for a bridge color, actually on the still life. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to mix that to the same value. It would be really in between because we do have that value shift that runs down this side. A value that's in between the red lit part of the stem and the green lit part. And bring that up into there. This background, I'm going to let it go a little bit lighter as it comes down here, so it's doing the opposite thing. Meaning this is going from dark to light while the stem is going from dark to light and it moves up. So that there will be an area where it's lost together and there will be an area where the lit side of the stem shows dark against the background. And there will be an area up here where the lit part of the stem shows light against the background. And that's a nice way to incorporate transitions into a painting. Got this beautiful little transition from chartreuse up to orange into violet there. And then I looked too closely at the subject and saw I could find a little line in between, and so I put it in. As soon as I did that, I realized I lost that beautiful transition that I had seen, so I just came back in and took it back out. But that's part of the process of constant visual editing that I'm doing, and just not painting everything I see. If I just let my eyes go a little bit out of focus, it's easy for me to see that as an uninterrupted transition. And if I spend too much time staring at that spot, then I start to see all these little details in it that, in this case, we're breaking up the natural beauty of that transition. So it's one of the reasons that it's nice to make all of your decisions from a distance, as far as how much detail you might want to put into your painting. From back here, it'd be pretty easy to see that would be an unimportant mark. But up close, when you stare at that subject, you go, wait, I didn't put that line in. This time I used sort of an orange for my bridge color to get from that green to that red-violet. From up close, it kept bothering me that I couldn't find the edge of that flower. But every time I step back, I see that it just shows up, and there's something beautiful in how it's lost. If I don't keep getting back, I will lose that.
It's like painted in.
Yeah, up close, that decision doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
From back here, it's a great decision.
Okay.
Up close, it makes no sense at all. My goal in this shape, after I've decided I've made an elegant, aesthetic, descriptive shape, is to fill it with the most beautiful paint I can fill it with. Right?
Color and brushstroke, right?
Yeah, all of it. Why not? Why leave one out? It's not to paint all the colors I can see in the shadows of these rose leaves, which are grays and blacks. And, the goal is to make this part of the canvas as beautiful as this part. If If I have to depart from reality for that, that's a great excuse to depart from reality. So the challenge with the calligraphy here in these darks is to kind of mass them together and break it up. Right now we have a little bit of the same thing that I found so beautiful in it running through the whole thing. It'll be a little stronger though if I can say, okay, we have a little bigger negative space here. These have smaller sort of sky holes in between them and so on. And work our way through and keeping this as irregular and unpredictable as possible. So that's why I keep stepping back and just taking a look at what I've done here as far as shape. I'm not really thinking too much about color yet, although I am thinking some about color in that I don't want to put in anything super strong right now. So the decision as to whether or not a dark spot goes here is not made by looking at that and deciding whether a dark spot's going there. The decision's made on do I need one, and then if I do need one, I look over there to find one that I like and put that one in.
Okay.
So here I'm using the light on these leaves, just matching it to be my same middle value, letting that be the same value as the background. And putting the light hitting these leaves in such a way that I'm breaking up the shape of this dark to be less predictable. And still trying to keep it descriptive and poetic. But this is where I use light to enhance my design.